feed my mind and my body. But there's one thing I say and always need.
This world shall know pain.
His come and dance with me in hell, won't you?
What is up, peeps? It is time for another episode of Chibi No Podcast. You got me, Dividend Smash fan.
Mr. Take Two.
Yes, Japorian Take Two.
Boricua Senpai.
And Shark King.
And we got through a really weird start. It was
Some bullshit occurred. The SD card got corrupted. My brother had to fix it, and then he's just playing it off like nothing happened.
well, that's all we could do. It doesn't matter. The point is, let's go back and let's go to the beginning of what we were talking about, because you don't even know. I'm gonna turn the time over to Shark King, and we're gonna watch this trailer again that we saw. So, we're talking about Apex. So
It's true.
So tell us what are we expecting with this new trailer?
¿Qué pasó?
The thing I'm most excited about in this new season, especially what we've seen in the trailer and the information.
By the way,
we know,
this is a trailer about Apex.
So what you said?
He just said. I just said that.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Anyway, as this playing go on,
the things I'm excited about is it's geared towards new players or newer players. They're adding bot lobbies so you can play with your friends against bots to kind of get used to the mechanics of the game. Because I know there is a lot of stuff. I never really thought about it until I've played with newer players. And like, what does this do? What does this do? I'm like, oh, I probably should have explained this.
dang it, Japorian.
And the game doesn't do no.
It's not good at intro
The game doesn't
stuff.
do that. Isn't good at introducing that or explaining that.
I mean, it kind of does it little, but not enough. Not enough. I know.
It does do it, but it doesn't do it well enough, in my opinion.
Yeah. You're right.
So they've added this. There's going to be a lot of the changes. Now you won't have to get banners, although Host has been awesome at doing that for us 2 or 3 times.
Banner boy.
Clutch. He's we've all died, and he's come and retrieved our bodies and taken us back to the respawn beacon. So that's my friend. That's why he's my friend.
You are my friend.
Dun, 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 dun.
Worst song ever.
They're
Good song.
Next to Bluebird.
They're rebalancing all the weapons. So basically, all the weapons that were crappy, they've been buffed. All the weapons that have been good are being nerfed. So I feel for now,
What's getting
we'll have
nerfed?
to see what it's the flatline. All the assault rifles have been nerfed.
Yeah.
It's been very assault rifle heavy. The assault rifles and submachine guns have been
It's
slightly
always
nerfed.
been very strong. So
Shotguns and LMGs have been buffed.
I thought they were good already.
So PKs?
Huh?
Are PKs back?
PK's back. So
I'm happy.
the shotguns now shoot less pellets, but they do more damage. So your damage is more consistent. You're hopefully not gonna be pulling up with like the 8 damage on a PK shot instead of like a 92.
Dude, I'm hitting like at 20 meters, so I mean it makes sense.
And then you get to dual weld with the P2020s.
They're adding with the P2020s and the Mozambique. And
Good. The Mozambique sucked.
it doesn't have to be whatchamacallit.
The same type of gun?
It does have to be. You have to be 2 of the same,
Oh.
but you just automatically pick it up. Like you don't have to do anything.
Or you don't have to like push E or push whatever to it.
It'll
Just
automatically pick it up.
It only counts as one gun slot, or does it take up
counts
2
as
slots?
one gun slot.
Okay, good.
that's so
I
cool.
was gonna make
It
sure
counts as one
because
gun slot, and if you get one of the attachments, it counts for both. So you can get hammer point, and it counts for both of them.
that makes sense.
Is this all the pistols aside from the wingman?
It is just the P2020 and the Mozambique for now. They are talking about doing the RE45, but that might be a little.
That gun's
I don't know
super
how you would do that.
strong.
Like that's
They would-
With those
have
hammer
to-
rounds on there or whatever it's called,
They would
those are
have to,
super strong.
Either slow down the fire rate or reduce the damage.
little things. There have been a lot of like just quality of life improvements for the game, especially visually. Like I mentioned in the first take, friendly traps and barriers and stuff like that. Things that you set up will be marked in green. Enemy ones will be marked in red. So just there'll be an easier distinction, especially again towards newer players. So you understand. Also, players that like leave things like traps and walls, you can now remove them from a distance. You don't have to wait for them to be destroyed. You can just basically call them back to you at any point in time.
What? That's cool. I have to go
Super,
close to them
super
and
nice. The LMGs all got the perk from the devotion in this last one. So as long as you're LMG while you're aiming from the hip, the longer you hold it, the tighter it becomes more and more accurate the longer you hold
so
it.
it starts with a huge spray, then it gets lower.
The spray gets smaller, and
that's
the
cool.
The reticle actually shows it gets tighter and tighter the longer.
Okay, that's
you use it.
cool.
Tight.
LMGs also are getting a new hop up, which is there's a gun shield.
Oh, like oh my gosh, what's the brother?
Yeah, like Gibby. Basically,
Gibby,
you get
yeah.
a shield whenever you have a LMG. And like I said, all the weaker legends got buffed, and they left the strong legends
Alone?
Alone.
pretty much for the most part alone. Not
That's
too many
smart.
nerfs.
Did the
That's
Costa
smart.
get buffed?
No, he kind of stayed the same.
But he's not strong.
Actually, he did get a buff. So now control legends, they actually get an extra 25%. They get an extra shield bar
Ooh.
as long as they're within the ring where you're supposed to be at, because that's your job. Like as a control legend is to control the area. So
I heard that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that they changed it so that as you get smaller and smaller the area, the perks that you can pick up become more rare, more like
yes.
useful. I
Yes.
say useful, but I don't know exactly
They
the right
become
word.
better, and the loot bins, every time the ring closes or the
They
stone
reset?
closes, the bins reset.
Good.
So everything will close, and that way you don't run into areas where you're like,
Dude, that makes it so much
they've
fun.
taken everything, yeah. So I think I'm happy with what I've seen and heard from so far. The coolest update is Crypto, who basically had like under a 1% usage in utility. His first perk is when he shoots out his like survey drone, he becomes invisible,
That's super cool.
which is super, super unique and super, super helpful.
That's interesting.
my opinion.
That's interesting that crypto. I mean, I've seen the cryptos that I've seen were really good with.
Yeah, because you have to be good. He's a terrible character.
But he has a
most
cool.
part, like,
Isn't he the one that
meta-wise-
does the EMP?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, it's hard to use him. He's very. I don't use him because I know I'm terrible with him, and I played this game for a very long time.
Kind of like how, like in Overwatch, you know, how when you maybe
How
you
dare you
get
tell Overwatch? You don't know
well, you
nothing
get
about it.
overlooked. I'm just saying with the basics I knew. When you're playing Overwatch and you choose the character, it tells you the difficulty, like 1 to 3 stars. 3 is easy.
Oh, I used it. I totally forgot about that.
So like, they could have done the same thing where like this character's easy to use because you just do this. This character's a little bit harder. This character's
Who's that
more
character
advanced.
with the 2 Blue Lives Matter batons?
Oh, that's Lifeline.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Also, I think the other nice update that they're doing is now when you're aiming down sights, it'll show you their shield and their health bar, so it'll be easier to tell. Because I know before a lot of pros have been like, "Oh, I've done X amount of the 97 crack shields." I mean, it's just terms and stuff that the game doesn't teach you and let you know. Again, more geared towards being.
more advanced people would
Yeah.
know. More advanced players.
And the battle pass got reworked, so now there'll be 2 battle passes per season. And they're shorter, but they should be easier to complete. And from what we've seen from the first one, they're actually adding better stuff to it. So I'm happy with that. Once you buy one and you complete it, you have enough to buy the next one. So hopefully you never have to buy more than one battle pass with like actual
You
money.
just have to bite the bullet and buy.
Buy it the one time and you're
Buy the
And
one
then
time.
now you don't have to buy characters. If you have an active battle pass, you automatically have access to every character that's been released.
It's kind of like
you don't have to buy new characters as they come out.
kind of like how Call of Duty does it. You get enough tokens when you buy the first time.
Yeah.
You get enough tokens, you buy the next season pass. So it's smart.
They still have some stupid rare stuff that they do because like they added a whole new type of currency. What's it called? The green one, the shard or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, they still have some crappy methods.
Yeah, they want to make some money. Yeah, it's probably.
I get why, but they do have too many different forms of currency that I mean, you guys don't have to worry about it. But hopefully, you guys play more. I mean, you don't have to, but
I want to play more.
if anybody wants to, like
Especially
especially
with
if you're
what's
newer,
happening
like
for
I
me.
think it'll be.
Are quads here to stay?
Quads is believed to be staying.
Yes.
Duos
I like
will not be
quads.
coming back, but they
Aw.
will be also adding singles to ranked, which is
Aw.
wild. Which I think is crazy because there's so many characters that don't like. They're built around
Yeah.
team. So I'm just like, I don't know how you're gonna like half the players. I'm like, why would you ever use?
That can segue into the Overwatch thing.
Huh? Oh, Overwatch.
Well,
that's pretty-
he said that
that's
there are
perfect.
characters built around teams, and I think that's what we saw when Overwatch went back when they went 5-5. Is that certain tanks lost a lot of utility because they were more of like a support tank, or they would flank or dive or whatever. So
Yeah. So we can move over to Overwatch because this.
Wait, question on
Not that I
that.
wanted
Before
to
you transition, I was going to say, when
I don't
are they
transition. I'm
releasing?
staying the same.
Huh?
When is the new season going
It
to
is
drop?
the.
I think it said the
Sixth?
it said August 1st.
That's
No,
the
that was a trailer.
That's the trailer. For
Oh,
the
this is
trailer.
probably what?
Is it on
Monday or
Tuesday or Thursday?
But it releases on Tuesday. The
Okay,
So it's the
Okay.
6th.
the 6th.
The 6th, okay.
August 6th is when it will.
Just wanted to make sure you guys were paying attention.
That was.
So anyway, we can move on to Overwatch news. This was, I think it was 2 weeks ago that they actually announced it, but
So
there
basically,
was a
what happened
podcast.
is
No,
you
shut
were
up.
sold
You
a
don't know
lie.
nothing. I will let you talk about Destiny, about your crappy
were
game.
sold
Let
a
me talk
lie.
about mine, okay?
Your crappy game.
Yeah, I know it's crappy. It has some stupid stuff that they do. Anyway,
Even in
Yeah.
the second take, they're still fighting.
They sold you a lie, basically.
and Destiny stole thousands of dollars from you.
No, they didn't. I was invested in it, and it was
Invested. Okay.
got cool
I would
skins.
say okay.
I'm gonna invest.
Take out that investment right now.
That's okay. That's what I say about my Pokemon cards.
No, yours is actual investment. You can actually.
Mine's a true
Yeah.
investment too. You were sold a lie. Continue on with what you're.
How is your true investment? Tell me. Explain to me.
My game didn't.
Do you know what
sell
an
me-
investment is?
Yeah, putting my time into it.
No, it's for what?
Continue on with
All
your story.
for what?
Continue on with your story about
For
Overwatch.
nothing, exactly.
About Overwatch 2 turning back to Overwatch 1.
Friends.
Overwatch 2 is turning back to Overwatch 1. Explain.
No, see, you're not even listening. You don't even know. So
Explain.
anyway,
All right, tell us. What's
so
happening in Overwatch 2?
so there's been a big issue
2.1.
for a long time where one of the reasons why they moved from 6v6 to 5v5 is because of the queue times. People were waiting 30, 40 minutes to just get into a game, especially in the higher levels, because no one wanted to play tank. Nobody. So everyone went to DPS or to healer. So there are these long wait times, even in just quick play as well. So they decided, okay, how about we make the role of tank just 1? And if that happens, then the queue times will go down. And they did. I think on average, they said now queue times for DPS is like, it used to be like 10 minutes or something like that. Now it's like 2. Sometimes it's like the longest. And that's like a major, major dip. And that's good. That's what they want. They want people to start playing. But now what's happening is Blizzard, for whatever reason, the Overwatch team has decided to, instead of trying to balance and maybe nerf things, all they've been doing is buff. So they buff the DPS. Well, now they buff the DPS, we can't do much. Now we got to buff the tanks. Tanks are getting too strong. We need to now help buff the healers. The healers are too strong now. We need to buff. Like they keep buffing things. They don't want to nerf things. People hate nerfs, but they also hate the buffs. So they're kind of suck because the fandom just doesn't know what they want. They want everything and nothing at all. It's the stupidest thing ever. So they're like, what we're going to do is we're going to test to see if we can go, if 6v6 would work. Now, the problem with that is the game has been changed. Characters have been reworked to work as a 5v5.
Correct.
So now if they were to go back, they would have to do a major haul of changes. Like everyone would have to be changed. Tanks would be overpowered. There are 2 of them there if it's 6v6. So now it's like what they said. I think his name is Aaron Keller. Is the director now. Excuse me. He said we're going to do these play tests. We'll have the community have time to do these different types of 6v6. He said now it might be different. They might do like, the regular 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 healers, or they say it might do other unconventional things. I don't like that idea. The idea was to run, they do 1 tank, 3 DPS, and 2 healers. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be horrible.
What could go wrong?
And the other one was do 2 tanks, 1 DPS, and 3 healers. And I was like, that's going to be weird. So, but they're saying they want to try different things just to see if anything else works. They say this is not permanent. This is just, we just want to see what will happen, what tweaks we have to make, and if it's worth it to make those and go back to 6v6.
So my question is this: why is there, if they're testing things out, why did they just test it with a small group of people that actually play a lot to get information?
Well, that's the problem. It's because
opening up to everybody.
Because now you,
I think it's easier to do in live service games to just
Yeah,
send it out.
they have a playtest area too, or like there's like a.
They used to be. Now it's no longer there.
Okay, they're
Well,
no
this is
longer.
what would happen is they would get people that stream or people that are really good, and they would get their notes. And the issue with that is playing at a high level versus playing in the medium or lower levels is very different, right? So you can't go based off how everyone plays on the high because no one plays. Most of the people don't play that.
Everyone plays that.
Yeah, Apex is the same way.
Yeah.
Like their guns are probably way better up on higher ranks because they know how to aim, they know how to do all these other techs. Where in the lower ranks it doesn't work because they can't do those things. They can't get that value.
You have to appeal to the common denominator.
Yeah.
Like the average.
I feel like,
human.
well, I mean, it depends. Certain games do things differently. But
This game
Well,
requires
yeah.
mass appeal, so you want to
Yeah.
go for the
with the live service game, you
casual
almost
gamers.
have to go for like the casual games. too.
Yeah.
So like in terms of like if you think of it ranked, people in high silver, low gold is where the most people are. So
That's
that's
like me.
So that's what we had. That's where they have to work on. And so that's where the most of the players are. Now they do also want to appeal to the people that play on the higher end, And so it's a balancing act. And I don't know. I want to try it, but I honestly hope they don't go back to CP6 because it's like what Mr. Misha said. It'd be like we just did a whole circle and we never got our full PvE
That's
from it.
literally
And
why Overwatch 2 was being developed. They were going to do a story mode. They were going to do a skill tree. They were going to do all this cool stuff. And then they said, well, it's a lot of work to do, so we're just going to do it in small bundles. And then nothing happened. And they're like, well, it's too much for us to do, which is weird. And they're like, we're just going to do PvP. Now it's like, well, how about we just introduce sixes? So it's just.
well, I was saying defense. The original director for Overwatch was pushing for PvE to be the main focus, and the hierarchy were like, no, we want just the PvP on it and release the over to with just the 5v5 and the PvP. Get to the story later. And they kept pushing it later and pushing it later, saying no, you need to focus on PvP. That's why I think that's one of the reasons why he also left, because the differences on where the direction of Overwatch 2 was different.
I will defend it with this and the fact that I haven't paid a single cent to Overwatch since its inception, since 1. So even though we didn't get what we were, I guess, told that we were going to get, I'm not mad about it because it's completely free. Yeah. I mean, if you want it to be free, it will remain free. So I think that's cool that I get to enjoy the game for as long as I have and not spend a dime on it.
I kind of wish they did a Halo Infinite thing where they made the PvP free, but if you wanted to play the actual story mode, you would pay for that. I would be fine with that.
I would too, but I haven't spent money, so it's cool. Yeah. Oh, my question is how is this going to affect the other collaborations? Because I heard they're having a collaboration with Transformers and some other stuff as well.
That shouldn't affect anything. It's just skins.
Okay.
It's just skins.
It shouldn't affect anything.
There's no advantage in gameplay.
All right. So you just look cooler while you kill people.
You're gonna be
unless there's a glitch,
or you look cooler while you were getting killed.
Or there's a glitch where, like, I mean, it happened with Fortnite, but I'm just saying as an example where maybe the skin you lose hit, like your hip marker is not accurate. Like with Fortnite, when Dragon Ball Z came out, their heads were bigger, so they were bigger targets. So I mean, I don't know if that's a thing that Overwatch has, or maybe it looks bigger, but they're not going to be a hit.
It's
target.
A cosmetic thing.
So that's good. Then there's nothing to worry about there.
Sweet.
Something going off?
Somebody's being messaged.
Is it Mr. Mister? Okay.
Not anymore.
It was Mr. Mister. So yeah,
cool. Brother.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of games that disappoint us.
Yeah, speaking of games that disappoint us.
Games, studios. I'm going.
So games that disappoint us.
Studios that designs games that disappoint.
There you go.
Yeah. So the studio, it wasn't the game.
Right,
the game hasn't done anything wrong.
We're getting so good at transitions.
So what happened was on Monday, I can't remember what that day was. On Monday, Bungie released a statement that they were releasing, or they let go of 200 something people.
221, I believe, is the exact number. It could be wrong.
Something like that, because they didn't meet financial requirements and stuff like that. And then this is Pete something. I can't remember his name anymore.
Davidson?
No.
Yes, he's working with Bungie now.
He's in everything now.
He is moving 122 of them over to Sony so they can learn how to do stuff for Sony stuff. And then 220 people got laid off. So total amount that people got laid off in the under a whole year, like not from 2024, but like let's say from this year to like
the fiscal year.
Yeah, fiscal year has been roughly like 36% of people at Bungie got laid off.
Dang.
And then what had happened, I guess some people who got laid off, they just announced basically saying like there was no work for Destiny 3. They were going to do like a Destiny gacha game type of thing, like a Genshin Impact, like a third-person game. That was like a free... Because I understand what they were going with, but I wouldn't support it because it's just... I don't like Genshin Impact, so it doesn't... it's not my thing, but I understand because they wanted to monetize in skins. They canceled that. They canceled like all of their works except for Destiny and Marathon. And then what they were saying on top of that was moving forward for next year, because they were going to announce something called Destiny Frontiers for next year, because they're doing the episodes right now, which is like the ending part of it. It's no longer seasons; they're called episodes. And Destiny Frontiers,
is there a difference?
The name,
just the name, really. It's really just
okay.
Yeah, just really. Though I think the only thing is now with seasons to episodes, next episode you can play the whole
Next
story
time on
of that
Destiny.
episode all on day one. Whereas right now, like they give you like drip feed you every Tuesday, every reset they do a little bit of the story. Whereas next episode you'll be able to do the
all
whole
of it
thing.
once. Okay.
Yeah. And then with Destiny Frontiers, they're basically saying they're just going to like release a raid and then some gameplay stuff, but nothing story wise. So it just kind of really bummed me out. So it's like,
Well, if they lost 36% of their people, that makes sense. Well, it's not a full
yeah, but like
update or something.
But like the people who were like in charge of like the director, like Luke Smith, and then Mark something I can't remember. Mark Noteworthy, he's the VP of Destiny. They quit. They left too. So like
they quit or they were
they
letting it go?
quit. Like I guess they were finding out what was happening, so they left at the same time as everyone.
So they voluntarily left with everyone else.
Yeah. So like,
That sounds suspicious.
well, I think they were going. I think
Didn't something
They
happen
left
similar
before
with
they got-
with
It
Infinite?
I don't know.
I'll be honest. I don't. keep
Wasn't
up with
Joseph
Infinite
Staten?
anymore.
What's his name? Joseph Staten.
Joe Staten. Yeah.
Joe Staten. He was he was supposed to be the director, the story director for Halo Infinite for like the what we're assuming were the
Foreseeable
DLCs.
future type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he left. I don't know if he left or if he was forced to leave or if he
left.
was.
He said he left.
So what's going to happen with Destiny now?
I mean, it's still going to be there, but it's just I think with
Bye.
what we've been shown
bye,
and
bye.
what
Bye.
the community has seen, they're all
It's a Deadpool song.
disheartened. Like when you go to if you go to Steam charts, you can see like the game people who played the game and like the population, and the population dropped like 30% in the past week.
So it's dying.
Are you going to be
They're,
part
like,
of that?
upset.
Are you going to contribute?
I haven't played since then.
Okay.
You're a part of the.
I thought you played this past week.
Weren't you playing when I got here?
didn't
Isn't
know.
your whole you have a whole Discord just based off Destiny?
Yeah, but
What were you playing when I got here?
I wasn't playing anything. I was in my room watching a YouTube video.
He was wallowing
Oh,
in
then
his
I'm-
self pity. He's like, oh, Destiny
Okay.
yeah.
He was watching video.
He was doing
of Destiny.
Of Destiny.
No, it wasn't
He was
Destiny.
doing the Wolverine.
They do everything.
No. But like honestly, it just bums me out because it's like
You spent a lot of money in there, yes.
no, it's not the money
Invested.
part.
Invested. Sorry, man.
It's just like that's their main focal point, and then they have another game that's coming out. But then it's like, yeah, let's not do anything anymore with this game. Let's not even make a sequel to this. You know, that's what.
Did you want a Destiny 3?
Yeah, eventually.
What would you have? What
I
did you
eventually
want?
would have wanted the Destiny 3 because the engine that they're on, the Tiger engine, is basically
Maxed.
a modified engine of Halo Reach, and that's an old engine.
I like it though.
Yeah, I do too, but like it's showing its age, so you need to update it.
What about story wise?
Story wise, did
Did it end on a cliffhanger?
No, it ended really well, but like they said when like Jeff Kaplan and like Mark Noteworthy and the other people that were the heads of Destiny,
Jeff Kaplan.
not Jeff Kaplan.
I was like, he's
Mark
Overwatch.
Noteworthy and
Nick Kaplan.
no. Anyways,
Dick Lachey.
they didn't know. So they like April went. So the final shape dropped in June. April they released Into the Light, which was like to get people hyped up and really cool stuff. Like you do mini raids and stuff and doing this PvE things, like a lot of cool things to really work for. And they did like a Vidoc, like Bungie used to, they do
Vidoc.
Vidocs. And
The Vidoc?
basically one of them was like, Justin, he was like, this isn't the end. He's like, the final shape isn't the end. There's more to come.
He lied.
No, he didn't lie because he wasn't part.
It became a lie.
No,
It could
just
become a
aged.
lie.
It could, but this goes back. I mean, I know that tongue in cheek, you talked about Overwatch being liars. I haven't spent a dime. They haven't really lied. Maybe the updates weren't what it needed to be, but I never paid for disappointing updates.
You never invested in Overwatch? Is that what you're telling
Not
me?
once.
No, well,
I mean,
the thing
time,
is-
sure, but not money.
The thing is, though, with Overwatch, like I was excited for Overwatch 2 mainly for the PvE side of things. That's why I was excited to play. And then I knew losing a person
Never
from 6s to 5s, I was like, that sucks. But I mean, if it's balancing, then that's good. But waiting all these years and nothing happening with Overwatch 2 PvE side of things really leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So
Yep.
that's
I
how
argue
feel.
the same for Destiny, but with Destiny, I had to pay for disappointment.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
That's where
He's
I
like,
draw
you
the
got me
line.
there.
Yeah,
And I told you,
which I like Destiny.
if
but
they would have made a Destiny 3, I'm just because they're
Yeah.
not super great. I would have gotten that game. I've always played the base game. I've never played for the DLC just because I have a problem with paying a full price for a game for just the DLC.
That's why PC is nice because you can buy them for cheap.
I still will not do it. Even for Destiny, I wouldn't do it.
No, I'm just saying.
Have you noticed his PC can barely run a freaking ROM?
I'm talking about PC games in general. I'm just saying PC games in general will always sell them for cheaper.
And I'm talking specifically about our friend.
I'm just saying.
Can't run a 16-bit ROM.
Play Destiny.
No, because to talk about that, like if you watch all of our Soul Links, like the one who ever you had to restart. Oh, my game crashed.
It is not my fault, but yeah, it happens. I don't know what it is.
It's your computer fault.
Time to buy a new computer.
And he's like, no, he did. He's like, I just got a new computer last year. My computer, I've ran a ROM on my laptop. This thing's like almost 10 years old, and it's fine, no issues.
Shark King better though. What did you and Miles did to it? Did you guys upgrade?
I just gave you
slap
more
it.
RAM.
Black Juju.
Yeah,
Just give you more RAM. That's it.
that helped. I haven't had as many problems since then. Knock on wood.
Joke's on you. It's fake. I'm just kidding. That's laminate, fool. That's not real.
I'm gonna punch you instead.
But yeah, just
I'm not wood.
For me though, it's just hard. I'm trying to find a new game to sink time into, but I just don't feel
Oh,
like
perfect
playing one
time to
right
play the new Marvel Heroes. Whatever they call
Fuck
game.
that.
Why?
I need a new.
I don't want to play that.
You haven't even tried it.
I'm in the beta. I got it. I
Oh, he got the beta. Okay, tell us how it is.
I didn't play it. I didn't feel like playing it.
Then how can you say you're not?
It just sounds like it just reminds me of like little kids when they're like, I don't like that. Have you tried it before?
No, I just like I said, this whole week I haven't really wanted to play games because the whole thing.
It's
It's just
let him be sad.
I was
Just
sad.
let him be sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
take
being
it
an asshole. He's like, oh, that's what you get. You play all your time. You're playing a fucking game
For free.
Yeah, but you were sold a lie. That's what I'm still upset about. We were supposed to get all this
I
cool
didn't pay
shit.
for
and
the
what
lie
they do?
though.
Doesn't matter. You wasted your time. You didn't get nothing. You literally didn't get nothing. I got something each time.
I'm still
bro.
having fun,
I didn't pay.
Okay.
and I play with Boricua Senpai and with Heather all the time.
I'm telling
on
you, it's
you.
all about Harry Potter Quidditch.
Get the fudge out of here, Harry Potter Quidditch.
But yeah, I'm just trying to look for something. I tried playing.
I can't wait for your
last
son
week.
to
I
come
tried
and be like,
playing.
Dad, I don't like Harry Potter.
No,
That's gonna hurt.
last week I tried playing the First Descent. It's okay.
What the fudge is that?
It's a third person game. It's like a shooter looter type of thing, but it's okay.
We can play Helldivers. I heard that's good.
He has played it.
I played it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Are you gonna play it now?
No, I'm done.
Well, if he's down, I guess I won't be able to.
You can.
No, there's
still
more
play it.
people that
I
can
wanna
play it.
play
Like we can play it.
Stop. You're not playing it.
But
No.
yeah, I think I might just look for
It
something.
has no booty.
I was debating on maybe playing Elden Ring, so just to play something.
I
with the
play
story.
Stellar Blade.
I don't have a PlayStation.
I will
It's not on-
definitely
it's not on
recommend
PC
it.
yet.
It'll come on
Shark
PC.
King forgot he has one. That's how much he plays it.
I think
is
I'll
true.
try Elden
It's
Ring
coming on
first.
PC though.
It's a
I'll
Spider-Man
try
machine for me.
Elden Ring first.
In all reality, we could do an online D&D.
That or I was wanting to, and we can segue here.
Play Risk.
I want to play Pokemon again, but I just want to play like a
The real
Nuzlocke. No,
Quick,
not
quick-
the fucking stupid ass Scarlet Violet bullshit.
Quick update though on that before we go into like actual Pokemon news. Where Shark King, myself, and Boricua Senpai are doing Radical Red. They're doing a Soul Link. I'm doing just a Nuzlocke, a solo one. I just barely got done. I finished I haven't finished the self. What's it called?
Silpho.
Silphco. I haven't finished it. I just
Wait, did you beat Marowak?
I beat Marowak.
Holy crap.
he
I
said
only
he
lost one
only
Pokemon,
Okay.
but then I need to defeat Team Rocket.
That's gonna suck.
That looks. That,
I'm not gonna
so
lie to you.
I'm-
There's a part you might not make it
Yeah,
out. The
I
double
s-
battle.
It was
I saw that and I looked at this thing and I was like, oh
You
gosh.
see the double battle?
Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, the double battles.
We lost, 2 when we did it?
I didn't lose any in that fight. I got lucky in that one.
Is that when you use Ninjask or whatever? It's,
Team Rockets.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I lost 1.
We made it through with just
And
one.
mine was
and it wasn't
shiny.
shiny, so
Yeah.
we technically made it through.
So shiny. So where are you guys at now? Because I don't know where you guys are at.
Giovanni Part 2 in Silphco.
You almost caught up to us.
Fudge.
Well, the thing is, we stopped for such a long time right before Giovanni. We stopped for like a month or 2. And then we beat him the first time. Then we beat the other, like, Team Rockets. And then we've stopped for another 2 months.
Because I don't have a team for it, and we're still constantly talking about team.
I think he might not have a team at all. I think I have the Mon for it, but our Soul Link prevents us from using them.
Yeah.
So
We finally made it to the point where the Soul Link is like super effectiveness. I'm like,
beforehand,
I think I'm gonna die.
it takes a lot of prep work with the Soul Link for us, which is
For sure.
kind of half the fun for me.
And which is one of the reasons why we haven't really recorded it. Like, we're just kind of doing it for
Just for shits and giggles.
Freaking, I do it by myself, and I'm spending an hour just trying to figure out who I'm going to take out. And like,
and now we have to realize because we go back and like, oh no, but mine's attached to this, so that's going to be weak to this, and we haven't used shinies as often as I thought we would, and we have quite a few shinies.
This is true.
I hate every time I bring in my shinies. They're the ones that don't die. I get pissed. I brought you here for that. Why won't you die? You can just come back. You won't cause me a token, but the other ones, gosh, I think I have 15 Pokemon that are dead, and I have 15 tokens. So basically, I could bring everyone back. But I'm like, I want to really bring back my Feraligatr.
Save them for as long as you can.
And Houndoom. But I don't know. I have to look at I haven't looked at Giovanni's.
Are you for round one?
For round, so
beat him in round one.
I've been in round.
Oh, you already beat him in round
He's
one.
got to do the clear out the Team Rockets. He's got to beat rival. He's got the rival battle, then the double battle, and then he's caught up to where we are at the second Giovanni battle, which is also not even the hardest Giovanni.
No, it's not that. I scrolled to the last Giovanni. I'm not looking.
That's gonna.
If we knock on wood, if we make it that far. Although I've said if we lose this, I still want to continue the game. We'll see if my foolish pride gets in the way. I'm like, no, I have to beat it authentically with.
Mine's gonna be in the way. I'll tell you that much. If I lose, I'll be like, fudge this.
I told Javi, I want to win without cheating, of course, by any means necessary. So I'm willing to hunt. I avoid shinies, but if I have to get shinies to beat at someone because I don't have the team for it because of our Soul Link, I'm doing it.
I need to find a water shiny. I don't have one.
Radical Red.
Oh yeah.
Before it gets updated, it gets even harder.
But going into that, we've thought about doing another Soul Link for Emerald, which
No, we didn't say Emerald.
I thought we did.
We
We
were
did.
thinking about it.
I'm super antsy about it because we tried 5 times, I think.
It wasn't my fault.
It was
It
my
just-
fault.
I blame Mr. Mister's his
Like I said, I
his
blame him.
randomizer.
You played with us. That was the one you're like, I'm done. You didn't want to do that one anymore, which I understand.
But
why.
What made you be done with that? I can't remember.
Well, you kept losing before we made it past the first gen.
I think that's the game where I got shafted the most.
Yeah.
And then the quality of life on Radical Red is so nice. It's the equivalent of having running water in a toilet and then just having to
Going
take
from third
dumps
world
in
to
a
first
hole.
world. No, it's going from third world to first.
Yeah,
first.
I don't have to go
that's not
get
an
water from a
exaggeration.
well.
The quality of life in Radical Red is so nice where I don't have to grind. I just spend a lot of time prepping.
They give you the literal option. Like, do you want to get your Pokemon to level cap?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a push of a button.
Yeah, I've caught a
don't- you
Pokemon
don't
or
have
shiny
to
at
grind.
level 6, but I'm at level 57. I think we're at right now.
You go to the Pokemon Center. I would
and
like
brings
my
it up
Pokemon to be
57.
at level, please. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
the
takes 2
quality,
minutes
yeah.
at most to get to the Poke Center and do it. So
And again, it makes it hard. And again, if you want to impose a Nuzlocke on yourself,
Yeah.
it makes it even harder. But it's fun when you get through. I planned it and I got through it.
yeah, it's nice.
Very rewarding.
They have an easy mode, which
We've never played the easy. Yeah.
We've never played. Which I'm
Easy
sure
mode
it's
is still
easy-
hard.
Yeah,
Easy mode is
it's
still hard.
easier than what we're playing, but it's still
And there's still a hard
challenging.
mode.
Yeah,
fudge
I'm
that.
I'm not playing hard mode. I'm not good enough for that.
Not yet.
And then the normal mode, I don't know if you've played this, Mister, but in the normal mode, you can't even use potions during the battle. It prevents you. Can't even do it.
I did play. Remember, I only played for 20 minutes.
I don't know. For the 4.1?
Oh,
Not in the 4.1.
No,
but
no. I thought it was. I thought that was implemented. I thought you could choose
No,
to not allow you.
That's been
Oh.
Yeah,
always
potions
a Radical
was
Red.
always
Yeah,
been a
you
thing.
can never use potions in a trainer battle. So
Yeah.
every battle was treated as a Wi-Fi battle. We've probably talked about Radical Red a lot. It's still probably, in my opinion, the best
Pokemon
ROM hack.
game?
It's the best Pokemon game. out
But you have all the
ROM hack.
Pokemon.
It does have all the Pokemon. It has
Power World Pokemon.
It even has Power World Pokemon now.
Oh, cool.
I think.
They're called Digimons.
I think even if I think about if I was trying to make a ROM hack, this would be it. There's very few. I don't have complaints about the game. I think the only thing I could think of, it pretty much takes the best parts of all the other gens and games and it put it into this one. It has Mega Evolutions. It has raid battles. It has double battles. It has the complete Pokedex. It has updated battles.
So the only thing that you were asking is for actually get a licensed Pokemon game like this.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, I doubt they would. But if I think I would be like the happiest person if the Nintendo or
I'd buy it, man.
yeah, they'd be like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna have these guys work on it.
All right, Nintendo, you hear us. We always talk about you guys.
I'll say this much: any casual gamer, any casual Pokemon player, might get frustrated with this game if they were playing Radical Red, just because it's like. You're used to, like, when I first was doing these Nuzlocke, I was like used to just always using my potions or revive, and it's like, oh no, you can't use that when we self-impose them. But now the game just prevents you automatically. But the payoff is you don't have to grind. You don't have to, like, you can just always have your Pokemon at level so that other trainer battles are easier, and the real skill comes in are beating the trainers and the gyms and like the major battles. That's where your skill actually comes into it.
The gyms and the bosses actually feel like bosses.
Yeah.
And you can't over level.
Yeah, and you can do that in the game.
Even if you're not doing a Nuzlocke, I know people who have played Radical Red and they're like, oh, I still don't feel comfortable doing Nuzlocks, which is fine. I like doing them because it makes the game more challenging.
Yeah.
It's just self-imposed rules, but if you don't want to, if you're like, I'm a good Pokemon player, but I don't want a Nuzlocke, you will still struggle. Like, you will still be knocked out by gyms and stuff. Even if you're not playing by Nuzlocke rules, you will still lose. It's gonna happen.
And sometimes, like, I tried fire.
You can't just run into every gym leader with like your over-leveled starter and then like sacrificial buttons.
I mean, and I've seen people who've been like, they've leveled their Pokemon to like regular games, like 50, and they go through it. They're like, yeah, sometimes they don't obey you, but you have a level 50 going up, let's say level 50 Charizard going up against a level 10 and 12 Onix. It's like that you're always going to win, even if it doesn't obey you 50% of the time.
So does that mean like our chief viewers will be able to get more Nuzlocke streams?
If you're joining,
Yeah, we would need an extra player, but I would do that.
I mean, Mr. Merce is saying like he needs a game to play, so
I'd be
but
down.
we need to do 4.
I think we are talking about doing that. We're in between projects. We might go back and retry Emerald and see where that goes. Or I actually had an idea for my channel that we would co-host with Chibi and do Radical Red content.
collaboration, huh?
That'd be fun.
And honestly, now that I'm at the point, I actually follow. Surprise! I actually follow other players that do, or other YouTube channels that do Nuzlocks and stuff. Even I have not seen anybody make it as far as me and Host have, personally.
Props.
There's only one other group of people that I know of that are attempting Radical Red Soul Link, and they have not made it nearly as far as we have.
Seems like this should be recorded.
You want to spend 2 hours of them.
It's a long stream.
No,
dude.
listen,
Like,
2 hours of literally
of
just debating, of prepping. That's all
Can
it
you
is.
use this? Can I use this? What is this linked to? Does this help you? Okay, this is good for me, but this is bad for you.
Yeah, I think there was a night where David was able to get 2 badges and like beat another 5 trainer, like boss trainers, while we were only discussing a team for 1 battle the whole night.
Yeah.
It was close to a 4-hour like session of us.
And Sharky was able to help me in between that.
That's right. I witnessed it. So like saying, oh, I need this stone to evolve this Pokemon now. Now, oh, this Pokemon actually has this weakness, so we can't use it's great. I like it. It's fun, but streaming that honestly would be a bit.
It would have to be just when you do the battles.
If you guys
Have to
really
be the
wanted
battle
that,
just that.
we could, but like I said, I have an idea to kind of work around that.
You just stream the battles live and record that. That would be the only idea that I would have. And
But we'll talk about that more. Like I said,
Yeah.
If you guys have a preference, let us know
So
in the
more
comments.
to come on Nuzlocke once again.
Are you coming out of retirement or no?
Well,
you're undefeated. Show these.
You know what?
It's
you know,
Do it.
I might consider it.
You might consider just do it. Be like Nike and do it.
Paul, you don't have Stellar Blade anymore. You've beat Spider-Man. There's no game
What
out
are-
there
what
for
are
you
you
right
doing?
No,
now.
hey,
What are you
ask
doing
him.
waiting for?
And show them that you
Boricua.
can be undefeated.
Ask him how many times he beat Stellar Blade.
Actually, it's Stellar Blade.
Ask him.
4 times.
Yeah,
Three times. Well, 3 times, yes.
he's seen that
But-
booty jiggle way
but-
more than he needs to.
There's a new, more content that got released recently.
See more naughty content. He doesn't need that.
I have to get to a certain point in the game again to get it. So I mean, I came out last week. I haven't even touched it.
Fine. Finish the game and then jump and join these guys in the Nuzlocke.
More to come.
I've become an elitist.
Anyway, okay.
I've become an elitist. I refuse to do anything outside of Radical Red. I've hated everything else. Maybe I'll try. What was the one you were suggesting?
Sun and Moon.
One of the 3DS
Oh,
ones.
Ultra Sun and
Ultra
Ultra Moon,
Moon.
that's hard.
Yeah.
I might do one of those.
The
but, like,
randomizer, I
just
saw
like-
people do it. Stupid.
I just like having all 9
Stupid.
gens. There's something
No, it
uniquely
is
special about it.
It's
I love
hard to
it.
go back to other Pokemon games. It's like, oh, I can't get this Pokemon. Why?
Yeah,
like
once,
the
once,
old- I
you,
like the
once
old
you play Radical Red, you'll never play regular Fire Red again.
Oh.
You won't. You
That's-
won't.
I can't.
It's a
Like,
curse.
It's no, you won't do it. I promise you. You
look,
won't do it.
it makes
I love
everything.
the old
Look, they
No,
just
it is. It's the same game. Like you'll know what to do, but it's better.
Different, okay.
It's better in every way.
yeah, like there's. It's like I don't even know how to explain it.
It's like a drug.
No, it's literally like watching stuff in 4K, and then you go back to like your 2007 phone to watch something in
But not even then, because
240p.
it's not even like nostalgia. Like it
Yeah.
still hits the graphics are the same.
It's like a kid when you have just regular white bread with a cold slice of American cheese, and then you grow up and you realize you can add some exotic cheeses and you can grill the cheese or the bread with the cheese
Get a
in it. You
brioche
get melted,
bun.
yeah, and you put some butter on it and some seasoning. Like you're talking the seasoned, high class fucking grilled cheese sandwich versus some cold ass American slice sandwich. That's the difference, Paul. That's the difference.
You can live off the first one, but
you want
It's an enhancement.
yes,
No, it's not. It's not just an enhancement. It's a new way of life. It's a different way of like. Your eyes can never unsee
So
what you've seen.
Who's your favorite starter ever
Squirrel.
of all time?
Of all time.
Of all time, any.
starter of all time.
Shoot. All of them?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can have a chance to get
catch
all the
every
starter.
Pokemon in that game. And as a starter choice, your starter choice is literally any starter. Name a starter. It's there. You want Charmander? Charmander's
Even
there. You
from
want
Scarlet and Violet,
you
it's
want
there.
Froakie? You can have Froakie. You want what's his name? Florigato, Fuecoco? They're in the game. You want Totodile? Even though it's Fire Red, you can have Totodile.
You picked Squirtle, but you wanted Totodile. There's a way to collect shards, these blue shards, and you can go to places like you want another starter, a water starter.
You can get every
get
starter.
it.
There's a reason why you guys are playing, except for Mr. Mister. So
Yeah.
He likes it. He just hasn't gotten there.
He has a pride issue.
I see.
Not yet.
No, that's only for Scarlet Violet.
So what else are we getting on Pokemon? We're getting some news. We're getting a Pokemon game.
Oh, we are getting a
about
Pokemon game. Duh, it's the Z. What is it called? Pokemon
Legend CA.
Legend ZA. The only thing I heard,
New Zealand.
Oh, there should be an announcement next week because there's a tournament. Pokemon tournament's happening.
oh, tournament's not gonna do dick.
Yeah, more tournaments. They might announce something.
They've done it before.
That is the history record for the past
So-
5 or 6 years that they announced something.
Tournament 2.
Watch it together on stream on Discord.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'll take off work if we have
You were
to.
the one who knew about the rumors.
I just heard some rumors. I just don't know because I know you.
He was on
heard
4chan.
them. No, it was like on YouTube.
Oh, X. Sorry.
YouTube.
Okay.
Next videos.
No, YouTube.
Okay.
Jeez.
X like Twitter.
How about you shut up?
I see. Well,
I don't want to know about you
in
anymore.
addition
Bro.
about Pokemon, we know there has been some news recently that I just shared this morning about how people are finding ways to uncover, even without opening the Pokemon packs, and see what Pokemon
Oh, yeah,
cards
this
you
has
can
been a
get.
thing for a while, but yeah, yeah.
Tell us about this, Mr. Mister. I know you're passionate.
You
about
talk
this.
about it. You're the one who
Yeah,
shared
you shared
it.
it.
Yeah, you shared it.
I was trying to
Your
shout out
news.
to
So
leak
basically,
that.
there's
That's
a
it.
particular company that's providing some services that in which you can actually use their machine to see what's inside a sealed Pokemon card and see what kind of card you
Sealed.
actually get.
Well, technically, there was another guy who did it first. He bought like a old X-ray machine or some shit like that.
Yeah.
and he did that, and he was able to see that there was a golem or something inside that.
You
Pokemon.
basically see what the cards are inside, which
Takes away the excitement of opening a pack.
I do get, but I think it's what's going to be worse is the money. And I
That's for
think
sure.
there's no point in keeping anything sealed or closed anymore. It's just open everything and. There's I mean, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, there's very few collectors who are like, oh, I want to buy a pack and just never open it.
Yeah,
The only reason people buy stuff and keep it sealed is because they usually want to resell.
Yeah.
Especially like first generation Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
I
especially
seen
like
those
the
sealed. The price on that.
because the more
man.
people open it, the more rare.
Yeah,
they
the rare
become, more
becomes it holds its
expensive.
value the longer it is because it's less likely that there's just less of them out
kind
there.
of weird.
Yeah, and,
but,
and on top of
makes
that,
sense.
it's just it's crazy. So like them doing that really is screwing up the Pokemon, well, cards in general.
Just cards in general. I'm sure it'll transfer into other cards as well.
Yeah, even in the future. I mean, there's ways around it if they wanted to implement the card makers do a a metallic sheet on the front and the back of the pack, but that would easily boost up the prices. And
I think
and you can't retroactively do it to the cards that are already out there.
I think what they're worried about now is just it's going to be because honestly, as far as Pokemon goes, the cards aren't that expensive. Like the usually the highest, the most expensive card we've had in over 2 years has been the Greninja that released 3 months ago. For whatever reason, it's up to $300. Everything else is like $100 or less.
Okay, what's your take on digital cards? That's
dumb. I don't get it. I mean,
I don't understand that either. No, they do that with basketball cards too.
They do
Like
it with Pokemon too. There's the Pokemon game.
I've seen it. I don't understand why that.
If it's online to play Pokemon, like the card game, that makes sense. But if it's just to collect online, that's dumb. What do I do with that?
That's basically.
Why would you pay for I want
the
this?
The reason the cards were actually invented is for people to play with it, and people stop playing because they want to collect.
The game's not as fun.
It's true.
There's some people that
I said the game's not as fun. There's still people that still play, but it's not as fun.
The game is that just collecting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love collecting, but then again, it kind of.
But that's the thing is you're like, oh, I like the Pokemon. I don't like playing it, but I like the Pokemon. And they're like, oh, you have this holographic version of the Pokemon, or it's only and it's very rare to get it. I want it. And if someone else wants it, I'll pay you double than what you paid for the pack. The pack, and you can battle. Yeah, you can do that too.
That's actually how the game works. You get prices, and you can collect them at the end. You can actually
but the game's not as fun. That's the whole thing. Like if someone asks, I've played it before. Dude, when they used to have the what was it? The BA. What was that bookstore?
Yeah, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a bookstore.
They had a world tournament on YouTube of Pokemon, the card game, and there was only like 500 viewers for a world tournament. It's ass. It's nothing important. It's just good to collect the card game.
It is.
It's not worth watching. It's nothing crazy.
I think it's cooler to watch when you do the actual card games when you actually watch kids do it.
I see. Yeah,
because even the World Championships. I love watching the
battles,
the younger division. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm like, dang, dude, this 8-year-old's probably smarter than I am.
I would have never done that.
What I really want.
I spent my whole life, and this kid's 8 years old. I was like, oh, I know.
What I really want is for people to actually develop a dual disc, so we can actually.
It's called VR chat.
That's already.
It's called VR chat.
It is.
Yeah.
We can carry it and play.
Just get yourself.
You can play Yu-Gi-Oh right now in VR.
David can vouch for me on this. I've been asking people to play Yu-Gi-Oh for a while.
He has
digitally.
Yes,
on a free game where you
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the whole VR experience in which you can actually play play a physical card.
That's what I just said.
A physical card.
Play the dual disc. Using the technology, being able to
That's been a thing for a decade now.
And then we project it.
It's been a decade for a thing.
I've seen the projection that you do on VR. There's a VR chat that they do that with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, just put on the helmet.
I want that.
And all your dreams.
They go get it. Go buy a VR chat. Go buy a VR. And you can get the game. There you go. I don't know what's stopping you.
But where's my dual disc?
Oh my god!
It's virtual. No, I want a physical one. That's what they didn't understand. Okay.
No, I understand that's what it is, but they have stuff like that.
And it reads the card. Yeah, you could just literally just can hold a physical disc, and then it's just a VR headset, and it reads the cards.
Yeah,
right.
I told you, just go buy it then.
That's sick.
I'm telling you, go buy it.
Is it just on the Oculus, or is it a different?
I'm not sure which one.
I'm not sure which one it is.
It's not perfect, but it reads all the original. Yeah,
so you see, it's a projection, but it's not fully the whole game in there, right? It just displays the Pokemon.
Just the cards.
Okay.
It's the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's not Pokemon. It's the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Okay.
You go try it out. Go buy it. There's nothing stopping you except for buying the money.
Just don't be the guy that plays Pot of Greed every time.
Agreed. Okay, cool.
That is what it do.
That reminds me. What was that clip you sent me about with how useless Joey was when he was fighting Yugi?
Hey,
yeah. well, we can maybe post that clip, but it's just between. I sent it to you. The Joey's fighting when Joey's dueling Yugi, and he's like, "Oh, let's see. Yugi probably set a trap card, but knowing Yugi, he probably set a trap card, but." Yugi probably knows that I know that he'll do that. But then would he know that I know that he knows?
I remember that.
I'm I can't believe that I actually made it to the episode, but that really is how Joey.
Spoiler, she lost.
Oh, man.
See, I'm telling you spoiling things.
Who cares? That show is over 20 years old. If you haven't watched it by now, screw you. You have 20 years to watch it. Screw you.
Even me, who hasn't seen a lot of things, would be like, yeah, dude, you should have seen that already.
Yeah.
And it's not even one of the major things that happens.
What else we got?
I think we're getting to our
My Hero Academia ended.
That's
The
right.
manga, my brother's going to do a full review.
Chapter 430. It was 430 chapters. It felt like it was a lot longer.
It lasted
but-
for 10 years.
No, I'm not going to
Ish.
spoil it.
No. I meant like chapter wise. Like it lasted longer because
shut
he.
up.
No, listen.
Just shut up.
No, listen.
430
It
Listen.
contains spoilers.
No, this doesn't have spoilers.
Shut up.
Will you let me talk?
I was talking
No,
first.
let me
I was
talk.
talking
Let me
first.
talk. Let me talk.
I was talking first. They're
Where
doing
they're
this. They're doing this. My brother's going to do a full in-depth review on a video. I'm just saying there was 430 chapters,
That's what he said.
and they did what they needed to do.
Like
That's
any
it.
story.
What it do, you?
That what it do, Yugi?
But
All I was
my turn.
shut up.
I gotta get that. No, all I was saying was like Horikoshi. He got sick or he had some medical issues the last like 2 years, and so he sometimes had these big long breaks, and so that's why I
normal
thought there were more chapters, but it's just because it took long. Like in those 2 years, like you
Also
should have.
COVID.
That's
Yeah,
a normal thing. A lot
No,
of
but-
mangakas to have a lot of breaks.
yeah, but he had longer. Like he was. I think that was like 2-3
We're
months.
still waiting on the response.
I know exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It's a normal
That's the thing, but that's why I thought there was more chapters. That's the only thing I was saying. A-hole.
You don't even need to bring that up, but it's okay.
Anyways, it's over.
Okay, on to our final piece of news
The anime's still
Will there
not
be a
over.
spoiler and non-spoiler review for that?
They,
for the
I was gonna say, yeah.
manga.
Yeah.
We can
Or
keep.
you're
gonna
no,
do a
it's
full
look,
spoiler.
it's gonna be a non-spoiler at the beginning, a spoiler at the end, or maybe the other way.
No,
around.
this
But
one
it
is
will be
just.
spoil- it will be
This
like
is
an
just.
open
This is talking
conversation.
about the chapter and the series as a whole. So this is going to be all spoilers.
Okay.
So yeah, see.
So Paul and I will talk about The Boys. So Paul, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, I
I'm pretty
forgot
sure
that.
you finished The Boys, but for the next few seconds, you might want to skip over this in case you haven't. By the time you're listening to this,
And there'll be a
we'll talk about
timestamp.
The
So
Boys finale if everyone's okay with spoilers, I guess.
Dang it, guys.
And then really quickly, Paul, I didn't realize he's Hentai Paul's #1 listener fan.
That's my friend.
I didn't realize we watched the same shows because we were able to talk about Game of Thrones and House of Dragon. We were able to talk about Fallout. So, Paul, we need to talk a lot more about that stuff, but I'll let Paul kick it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So about 3-4 weeks ago. the
wait,
boys-
question before you start: is this season 4, right, or season 3?
Four.
4. So they have one more season, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Season 4.
Confirmed final season.
Yes, and they confirmed there's going to be a fifth season. This season was only 8 episodes. And I got to say, I mentioned this a couple of times ago in the podcast. I think it's one of my favorite shows that I will kind of recommend because it's so much gore and nudity and violence, all the good stuff, I guess, to some people.
The wieners.
But it's definitely one of the best shows that I feel like they captured the true essence of being a realistic superhero. Encountering politics, lots of reference to comics as well. They have nods to DC, Marvel, and maybe some other comics that I don't even care, honestly. But I think it's going to be the best shows ever. So recently, I got Borika Senpai. He actually finished the season. We watched the last episode together. I rewatched it with him. I want to see, what are your initial thoughts on this?
So much to like what Paul and I talked about, it was, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, it was a slower season where a ton didn't happen until the very end. Then it was like big things, right? So it's a slow, dialogue heavy, these character developments, setting them up for these changes in their personality, changes in the entire structure of society and what it's going to look like. Because at the end of the day, it's a satire show about how absolute power corrupts, and it takes it from the angles of politics, social infrastructures, even religious concepts as well. And so at the end, you're seeing when you're faced with that kind of power and level of threat, whether you have the power or not, is you're in this like life or death situation. It's almost like this, not to tie it to Naruto because I always bring up Naruto, but it's like how Itachi says a man knows who he is like when he's on his deathbed basically, and how Kisame like kills himself with his own sharks, proving his own worth. That's what these characters are being tested to right now. And I said all of that to avoid the spoilers for a little bit in case Paul hasn't watched it and he's still listening. So you should have. Now it's time for spoilers, and if you have not clicked off, that's your fault.
Yeah, so I was gonna say one of the biggest spoilers that happens in this particular season, especially on the last episode, they kill off Victoria Newman, who is basically a
Zooming.
superhero
I
who was
knew
trying to hide her presence of being a superhero because she was trying to become the president of the United States. She had a plan to actually improve the quality of life, I guess, in a sense, for her and her daughter, who is also a superhero. But nobody knew, well, the general public didn't know about this until freaking Homelander exposed her on national television. And it kind of, it was a domino effect that affected everything to the point of, well, they had to get rid of her. It was really shocking to see that she was going to die, like, honestly. I don't know how it is in the comics. I know it was originally a male counterpart for her character. He got gender swap in the TV show. But that basically becomes a snowball effect into having somebody else, a corrupted, I guess, politician, who is working with Homelander, who in his mind, he has a whole genocide of perfectionists in order to have superheroes thrive in real life, I guess. And at the end of this season, the boys, which technically are, well, depends how you look at. Well, technically, through Homelander, they're the bad guys, but in reality, they're the good guys who are trying to create peace and unity between individuals. They're the ones who are being persecuted and chased down by the superheroes, and that's basically how the season ends. Most of the boys, the good guys, were actually captured by Homelander and his crew, and the president and all of that. Some are able to escape, but we don't know what's going to happen next.
So they're the Sentinels.
I guess in a way.
Yeah, that element for sure is X-Men heavy with what they're doing in their genocide, essentially. And I know you said superheroes. He should say people with superpowers because very few, if any, are actually even heroes. They're all
Supers.
incredibly corrupt in one way, shape, or form. Even the good guys in the shows, their hands are pretty dirty as well. So that's kind of the dichotomy of it all. Like, in order to take down that kind of level of power, you have to get your hands dirty.
By the good guys, are you referring to the boys or are you talking about the superheroes?
Yeah, the people you're a regular, reasonable person, the people you're rooting for, what you would think is the good guys, are still like their hands are pretty messy as well.
Like the Hokage.
Yep, literally, yeah. They're like Shadow Kage,
There,
basically.
there you go.
They're Hokage.
They have their own
That ant-
Ambu.
They're that ant from Ants. For the good colony.
But no,
He doesn't know ants.
I have seen it.
Okay.
Oh, fudge.
But I was going to say, if you like superheroes, if you like satire,
Don't watch it.
if you are willing to withstand all the gore, all the... How do you describe it?
If the graphic nature of the show, if you've ever watched anything that's hyper gory, like Fallout was pretty gory, that's on the same level. Game of Thrones is also on the same level of like everything just being so gross and overly done. Anything that's hyper explicit, you'll be fine with the boys. Like, if you like it. If not, if that's not for you, then don't watch it.
If you've played the new Doom games, you should be fine.
Yeah. I haven't played it, but I'll take your word for it. And
You play it on Switch.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
You rip some guy's spine out. and
Well,
then
there's
you
a reason
beat them
why
to death with
this
their
show
skull.
has become the most watched show on Amazon Prime. And also,
Amazon Prime doesn't have any other shows?
most
too.
Most of the big shows, surprisingly enough, are actually superheroes. They're
way good.
Yeah, it's The Boys and also Invincible.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings
and
thing
the
too.
Fallout. Yeah. So
Yeah, but that's blech.
they're releasing a lot.
That was it. That
Definitely
was
good
really
stuff.
watched too.
And it was The Boys is one of the between the top 10 shows watched for this year as well. Too. So I
believe it.
It's beginning a lot of recognition. So like I mentioned in the previous episode, I grew up watching Heroes. I think Heroes had to walk in order for The Boys to run.
Heroes
And to be
first season was good.
Yeah,
The
to be a
rest
more
was ass.
realistic experience on superheroes that people will like. So people saying like superhero exhaustion out. I don't believe it. If you actually tell a good story with a good premise, you can make.
We have been getting
an
too
awesome
many
song.
bad hero movies and films and the
Yeah, if
Marvels.
it's done creatively well, I think there's no exhaustion. Lastly, again, more of a spoiler. Hopefully, I mean, it spoils it, but if it gets you to watch it, I think it's worth it. At the end, the tail end of the season, it implies so Homelander being the corrupt Superman slash Superman like equivalent. There's this other guy who's the equivalent of Captain America, but way stronger on like Superman's level strength. Soldier Boy's his name, and then you have Homelander's kid, his son, who is the only real threat to Homelander, and so is Soldier Boy, right? So they teased about basically bringing back Soldier Boy, who's in cryogenic sleep again, and then the son has not yet decided what part of the fence, this proverbial fence, he's going to fall in, because if he sides with the good guys, the boys, Homelander's probably going to have a tough time. If he sides with Homelander, I don't see the boys winning unless they do some sort of suicide mission. But
Suicide Squad.
The stakes are finally there. I think the season 3, it did a bad job of showing the stakes of the show, but season 4, I think, finally set it off. So I'm looking forward to season 5.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this, to mention, I don't know if I mentioned this at the very beginning, the boys are, for the most part, people without
Back in town.
superheroes. They have no powers whatsoever, and they're fighting against gods in a sense. So that's a really cool
Well,
premise.
didn't one get powers?
Well,
Temporarily.
Okay.
What about Negan?
What about who?
Like,
What about Negan?
Who's Negan?
I don't know his. I don't know.
He is,
He's from The Walking Dead. I don't know his real name.
Butcher's side ego, side character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's his alter ego.
Yeah, alter ego.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he cool?
No, it's his voice of reason.
Yeah, go for it.
It's his Donzo. It's like,
Ah.
so he's as shitty.
See, you could have just said that. I would have been okay.
Yeah, see, he's as shitty.
I understood that reference.
Butcher, like the main. I wouldn't say he's the main. He's one of the main protagonists or antagonists, actually, depending on where you fall. But
He was the main protagonist.
yeah, he is essentially the equivalent of almost Hiruzen, as far as like he's pretty shitty. He's capable of a lot of things, and then his alter ego is Donzo, as far as how it all plays together. So they're both kind of pieces of shit. But it's good. It's really good stuff.
So I shouldn't root for the protagonist. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, if they win, then the general public wins. So it's just like almost
for the good of the colony.
Yeah, it's you make a sacrifice that
I understood that reference
benefits
too.
everybody. Ants. Yeah, honestly, great show. If you're into it, I think you would probably enjoy it. Quite frankly, David, I think you would too, Diego.
I need to.
I think all of you guys would
a
enjoy
lot
it.
of stuff I need to watch.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's our update for the boys.
That's a spoiler for the boys.
I mean, it's cheap in the podcast, right? A little bit spoiler men. And
Lead by spoiler. Yeah.
we communicated. Yeah, so that's what's happening.
Okay. Final thing for tonight. I want to more talk about what the implications
Of the Olympics?
of this news. Fuck the Olympics.
Wow. People are.
They did
actually-
Japan dirty.
comes together.
I know, right?
They did Japan dirty.
The world comes
In
together
soccer.
during the World Cup, not
And
the
in
Olympics.
men's soccer. They did okay. They won volleyball, but that's
stopped
okay.
with the
Boxing. You
World
see the
Cup.
cool gun competition, the shooting range stuff.
South Korean guy. Was it the guy or the girl that won?
The girl. I don't know.
Anyways,
Anyways,
We're not talking about the
continue
Olympics.
on. Say what you were trying to
So
say.
we
Quit building
are
up.
we are going to talk about the reveal that happened at San Diego Comic-Con.
what
That
happened?
they.
To our listeners, come on.
That's what I'm about to tell you, you
Okay,
mother
okay.
trucker. Dang.
Oh, that.
So we got the confirmation that the Russo brothers are going to be directing the next 2 Avengers films. It's going to come out in 2026 and 2027. So
2025.
2025 and 2026. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So they said that they've changed it now. It used to be King Dynasty was supposed to be the 2025 one. It's not going to be called Doomsday. The second one is still going to be called Secret Wars. And they announced that the new antagonist is going to be
Replacing
Doctor
Kang.
Doom,
Yeah.
replacing
No
Kang.
way. That's kind of crazy.
And the one that they have
nuts, man.
and the one that they've casted to play Doctor Doom. We don't know
was
which
there.
one.
He was there. They had a line of Doctor Dooms, and then one stepped forward. And he
They know
pulled
who
his
it is.
mask off.
Who?
It was a good old Robert Downey Jr.
Why you gotta
Junior?
ruin the things? That
I
was
think he
having
played
a cool,
Iron Man in like, one of the Marvel movies, from what I heard.
Yeah, that's a caveat. Why do they do that? That's stupid. Why would they do that?
Okay,
What are they
well, this
doing?
is why we're
Explain
talking
to me.
about it, mother
Explain
trucker.
to me. Explain it to me.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, Marvel overall, if you take out Spider-Man: No Way Home, if you take out, I don't disagree with this, but if you take out Wakanda Forever, Multiverse of Madness, and you take out Deadpool, all of the movies and all the other projects, aside from maybe a few, have not been that well received.
Ass.
Yeah, and they're supposed to.
Shang-Chi was good.
Actually, it was good. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but again, that doesn't that I will say is more a self-contained movie. There's no bigger implications for it.
Where are you trying to go at?
What I'm trying to say is that they have been in a rut. There's no connection to these movies anymore. They try to do these connections, but they haven't done anything with them. No Way Home, talked about the multiverse,
There's a
They didn't do
connection.
anything with, but they haven't done anything with it.
But there's a connection.
They tried. With Multiverse of Madness was not really a Multiverse of Madness, and it did more. It made more money than I thought it was going to get.
Say, I don't want to justify it, but I also think that
Yeah, you do.
COVID
You do that.
also took some part affecting the way that the movies were supposed
Not the story.
Well,
I mean, the stories still were not that good.
Stories stories are going to be the least affected from COVID.
it affected that shooting.
It's the production and everything else, but
Production
the
for
stories
those
should be the same.
Had to be rearranged because of certain limitations when it
People
comes to COVID.
dying.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that their stories have not been good.
True.
That's
You're
the-
100% accurate there.
So now the question is, they bring Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom. What I think is like they need to bring this back because King, the Jonathan Majors, right, had that whole issue with his charges. Even though I think 2 of the counts he was cleared for, he had 3 counts that he actually was found guilty on.
But it wasn't for what that was. What? But anyways,
But it doesn't matter. Disney was like, we don't want to go that way.
You don't want to be associated with
Yeah.
this
He
guy.
got fired from this.
So now they're bringing in Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom. Now, that's the question: is this a money grab? Is this a last ditch effort, a Hail Mary? Be like, we've lost a lot of people. Let's bring back somebody. I mean, I saw what was said, but just say yes.
Just whatever. I'm curious to see what you guys' opinion.
Yeah, I want to hear.
So I feel like it is a money grab to a point, like, because they're not being creative with what's going on. I feel like the argument we said before with filmmakers in general, not Disney, just Disney, but like a lot of film writers and creators and everything are just creatively bankrupt. They don't know how to write new stuff anymore. There's like, I think all this year, a majority of films are sequels this year, if anything.
That's been true for like years now, though.
But you know what I mean? Like it's catching up. So like this is really showing like another piece of evidence that that's what's going on. So like I at first at face value I think this is cool, but like when I really go down and think about it, I'm like, this is kind of stupid. Like they really are trying to like catch that fire from when the first set of Avengers came out, and Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Even if you didn't like 3, all that stuff. So, I mean, cool, but it's like you could do something better.
No, not cool. I'm very biased, not to discredit you.
No,
so
you're fine.
I'm the least informed, though, so take that for what it's worth, because I've seen the least amount of Marvel. I've not cared since Endgame about what happens in the Marvel universe.
That's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man I was interested in, and Shang-Chi looked different enough for me to be intrigued. I watched it and I enjoyed it. And then, again, this Deadpool was... The only reason I didn't care is because it's not necessarily... It didn't seem that impactful to the overall story of whatever
It
they're
was a
trying to do.
contained story.
Yeah, it's like just part of the universe, but its own thing. I'm going to go... I think it was Matt Damon who had mentioned the reason now we're seeing all these sequels and same franchises being revived is because a lot of studios don't want to lose any money. And back in the day when things weren't digitally streamed, you would make money that you lost on the DVD sales. He said there were movies that would absolutely flop horrendously in the theaters, but because of their cult following, and they'd sell enough DVDs to literally turn the profit. Yeah. So maybe they'd never get a sequel. Maybe you'd never hear or see from it again. But the studio made their money back. The actors got paid. Everyone got paid. So it was worth risking these weird one-off projects. Now it's all these stakeholders. No, I always want my money returned, and I get it. But so now let me go back to RDJ. Great actor, phenomenal. He's so tied intrinsically to the Iron Man vision, like the vision you get in your mind of Iron Man is RDJ. I think it's ridiculous to have him play Doom. I like always bring in someone who isn't as well known, or if they're well known but hasn't been part of the universe. That's why I think it's a cash grab. I think they're just like, people are going to watch just for him alone. He's obviously a guy that people just love personally and from a professional perspective. And I don't hate him for it.
And in this universe,
but back to Creatively Corrupt, they're just like, this. I'm not saying it won't be a bad story, because Russo brothers have been good at telling stories before. I just have no interest in it. I've supported them. It's cool. I just wish they would make another universe. Why do we still have to be tied into the universe? And I know that was what Multiverse of Madness was supposed to fix. Oh, no, it's a new universe. And I just, come on, bring in a new actor. It sucks with the whole Kang thing, because I thought that was a unique take, because most people, Kang is popular, but not to the point where, Doctor Doom is incredibly popular. I'm always a fan of bringing in characters that don't get as much shine or love because
Squirrel Girl.
it gives you,
David Thanos.
yeah.
Right now.
I always like that's where my Batman obsession and Spider-Man, like their rogue galleries are so unique. Stop showing us the same villains. Give us something
The
unique.
wheel.
Yeah. So
Vulture.
that's it. I just think it's a cash grab. It will work inevitably because people want to see what Robert Downey Jr. does.
Was that intentional use of words?
The what? It will-
Inevitably.
Inevitably.
Yeah, he is inevitable. All your paths have led to failure, and what did that lead you?
Right
Back to me.
He should say that basically if he hasn't, but that's it.
It's also a Batman quote, right? You
he's so yeah.
You live long enough to be the hero,
Or see yourself long enough to see.
Either
yourself
die the
become
hero or
villain.
live long enough to become. to
Why not don't?
Yeah.
¿Por qué no los dos?
No, I think it's just like he can do something unique. He can create this incredible villain and bring another take to it. And he's too distinctly. There's that element to it, but just from a creative perspective, I'm just done with Avengers as a whole. That Marvel Cinematic Universe. I wish they would just do a new clean slate, and I'd probably go back into it. Wipe all of this away, and just start like, oh, this is a new universe, Earth, whatever. Not the same one.
616.
Yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I agree with
I have
you
a
there.
couple of comments. And something that just
No, you're not allowed to do that on
quite
here.
a bit. And going back to what you mentioned at the very beginning, when it comes to like, when did the movies start going bad? Exactly. Because Disney, at one particular point, they wanted to bring more people into their platform, right? So what did we do? Let's bring this Marvel content there. Let's make more. I'm trying to remember who was the person after, that took over Bob Iger. I'm trying to remember his name. There was an executive from Disney who's like, hey, we need to release more. We need to release more. We need to get more information there. More shows. And because we got so many, it got oversaturated. Right. The quality dropped quite a bit. They needed to release more stuff. They didn't have a proper plan. They had issues with COVID. They had a writer's strike. They had issues with Jonathan Major. Like, all of those are falling into place, and that affected the whole thing. Now, with that being said, I know and I think that Disney is aware of what the Robert Downey Jr. is doing. Sure, it is definitely a cash grab. People will go and see it. Doesn't matter. Like, everybody's been talking about it in the past couple of days.
I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten of people like, "Have you seen this? Have you
Right?
seen this?" I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
It was really shocking too when I
yeah.
heard it. Like, really?
Yeah,
Most of the people who sent it to me like, "This is fake, right?" I'm like, "Actually, it's
That's true.
I was conflicted, even to and the more I think about, I think even though this could be a really big risk or the best smart move that Disney has made for this.
It's no risk. If they lose, they've kept losing.
No, because think about this. Let's say they do like a story with Robert Downey Jr. and it's not good. It's gonna
Iron Man
affect the
2
story,
was horrible.
Iron
right?
Man
It
3
can affect
too.
the whole thing.
Iron Man,
okay."
okay, Iron Man 2 was sorry. My bad. Iron Man 3 was horrible.
Iron Man 3 was caca.
So,
Yeah.
but it's also, it could be a risk, and they're aware of this. But then again, you think about it. Well, if we're gonna have a villain, people need to relate to the villain. Do you think we'll have one particular movie just to tell that and people connect to it? Maybe that would what happened with Thanos, right? But now people are associated with Robert Downey Jr. People already know him, so by having association, they're gonna be more inclined to like relate to that particular villain as to how he's gonna become Dune. If it is gonna be like an original Doom, it could be like what's another variant or Robert of Tony Stark. I don't know. That's up to the story to tell. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to interject one last time, and I'll keep my mouth shut unless you guys ask me to speak. I actually don't think they have anything to lose for two reasons. They're going to gain the money. That's the only risk they care about, right? They only want to mitigate money. Why do they not talk about that Miss Marvel show? They flopped, right? They didn't make money off of that. Why don't they talk about what was the other one? Wish, the animated one, the Pixar.
Yeah, that sucked.
They don't talk about that because it lost money. They only talk about the movies that have made them money. They don't even talk about Quantum Mania. Did that lose them money?
I think it did lose money.
Okay, so they don't
I
bring
think it just barely. Yeah,
RDJ's face alone will bring money to this second. Is this considered the second like the second installment of the Avengers, whatever it is? Like, how How we had Avengers, Age of Ultron, and then two.
This is Avengers
parts of-
4, Avengers 5.
Okay, so I guess the Avengers thing of this next segment.
This is a new set of Avengers.
They have
They're
two
not the
more
same.
only, right? Every franchise makes the most money on the first and the last because people just want to know how it ends. They don't have to worry about the end one because it's people are just going to watch it simply because I want to know how it ends. The middle one is the one that makes the least amount of money because it's the one that people are like, oh, that's the middle. We don't come to the middle. We only care about beginning and the end. He'll bring in the money for the middle, and automatically the last one, even if it's the most garbage movie of all time, will make the money back because people are like, I got to go see it, even if people say it's garbage. That's it. So that's why I say they have no risk because they'll make the money on the second one simply because his face is in it, and they know they'll make the money on the last one because people will just inevitably go to watch it. That's it.
But I was going to say on this, they also are aware how it's going to affect the fans. Of course, money talks, right? It doesn't matter if they piss the fans off here and there as long as they get money. And it's a valid point. But I also think there is a possibility it could be a really good story because they're bringing the Russo brothers. And the Russo brothers, every single movie that they have made for Marvel have been really good movies.
Some other better,
Right?
better movies.
Even today, before coming here, I was watching...
We were talking about Civil War.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing that. I was watching Endgame right before coming here. It was such a good movie, such a good story. And if they're the only ones who can actually fix this, it will be them. Sure, I would love to see new directors, new people stepping in, but it's a big property. It has big names. It has big characters. And I don't know if you remember this, but when they interviewed the Russo brothers before, they say, well, the only time that we would like to come back, it is if we were to bring a good story, bring some of the older characters from the previous stories as well.
And they specifically said they wanted to do Secret Wars.
Yep. So it does feel like it's pointing to the right direction, and maybe this could be the restart to actually be a proper restart from the Marvel franchise to start a new saga, which is the X-Men saga that they've been mentioning quite a bit. It's still I'm still conflicted, especially having Robert Downey Jr., but recently I just saw a post about, what's his name? Oscar Isaac. If he can play Apocalypse, if he can play
He sucked
Miguel
at it.
O'Hara, if he can play Moon Knight, why not Robert Downey Jr.?
Who I would argue is a better actor than
Right?
Isaac, who I still love, by the way.
Yeah.
Besides that Apocalypse, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Those
Moon,
movies aren't.
yeah.
None of those movies. To be
But they're all Marvel,
none,
right?
Yeah, but they're separate Marvel. It's
Right.
Sony's Marvel, and then it's Sony's
Fox is-
animated Marvel.
Fox is
And then
Marvel.
Fox's Marvel, which now is part of them. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's
But the thing
It was still Fox's Marvel.
yeah,
at
it's
the
still
time.
Fox's Marvel.
And right now, it's also opens the opportunity of variants, right? The whole multiverse. They can have different characters, different actors. I don't want them to touch the Tony Stark because I think they did a really good story. His story has been done. It depends how they're going to sell it, in my opinion, when it comes to the new story.
And see,
what's gonna
I
happen
think
there.
they're going to do something because Doctor Doom is involved in Secret Wars, but it's Von Doom. It's not. It's Victor Von Doom. It's not Tony Stark. Now they're like
Well, they introduced
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Bond. It didn't say
no. They said Doctor Doom.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not Von
he's
Doom.
not- It's not going to be his face as he's going.
We don't know if he's.
We don't know.
The assumption is he's a.
which Doom he's playing.
But my guess
he's a variant of.
my
Tony
guess
Stark
is that
being
he's
the
going to
bad
be
guy.
Tony Stark because that has happened before. Tony Stark has been Doctor Doom in a different Marvel universe.
Sure.
I think it was because I don't remember why, but he had some beef with
They were roommates.
I forget what's his name.
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards. Yep. And then he got burned by Johnny. And then he got transported to another universe, and it just kind of went from there, and that's how he became Doom.
Like I said,
And again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think what they're going to do is they're going to try and follow kind of what Secret Wars happened, which there's like what was it called? Battle World?
What Secret World?
Huh?
There's multiple Secret Wars.
Well, yeah, but then they each have like. What I'm thinking is because they have this whole, you have this anchor person, right, in each universe. In Secret Wars, if you've ever read it, the main thing is that they bring all of the, well, if you haven't read it, they bring all of the anchor people
like 40 years worth of
into fight, and they want to know like what's better, like good or evil, as they kind of bring all these anchor people to fight.
Right.
I don't know if they can do the exact same thing or something similar to it.
I think they will be inspired because they said the same with the Endgame, right? Infinity War, it's different in the comics, but
They had the Infinity Gauntlet still, but yeah.
Right, it's a lot different. And the cool thing about Marvel is that they have their studio, they have comic book writers also helping write movies.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
The Marvels.
No, but still, like, they have a stream of
Who's
ideas
fucking ass.
of people that actually write the comics. They can write whatever they want and they can introduce it and say, hey, this is Marvel story.
Yeah, but hopefully they don't just let whatever comes out.
Well, it feels like it's more under control. It feels like. Once again, I don't know what's going to happen next.
There isn't anything to show that there's anything that's under control.
Well,
because the only movie
mentioned they
after
fired
the Marvels
guy
was
who
Deadpool.
was pushing the idea of releasing a lot of Marvel stuff.
No, good, yeah. But
So
that's
that's
the
one.
quality.
Sure, right. And they also removed the amount of releases.
As long as the ladies are that
Not
were
for
in
next
charge of
year.
the Marvels,
Next year there's
not
3.
touching any of the future films, then we're fine.
So,
Those ladies were dumb bitches.
but anyways, I do feel like there might be an opportunity
They were like you can.
of like what to release. It would be really cool to see Pedro Pascal against Robert Downey Jr. Though I think that's something that a lot of people I would like to see that because I do like Pedro Pascal.
I'm tired of
Mr.
him.
Fantastic against Robert Downey Jr. as
Well, because the Fantastic Four trailer was shown too.
Pedro Pascal.
He's
No, Robert Downey Jr. Okay.
the Fantastic Four trailer was shown at Comic Con as well, but this is set like in the 50s, or that's what it seems. Like.
60s, and it's a different universe.
Yeah, so they're gonna meld into the Marvel universe. Okay,
I don't know. They're still gonna have to not introduce, but use the whole incursion thing as well
we
because
see Galactus as well.
we don't know which universe the incursion is happening. We just know that Doctor Strange is trying to fix it.
So yeah, you were thinking a little bit more? Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've been thinking about it for a while.
Right.
I think it can be good, it can be bad. I think it just depends. I think the part I'm worried most about is the storytelling element. If he is just playing Victor Von Doom separately, that seems kind of weird.
That's
I
dumb.
mean, it's allowed to do. I mean, it happens because even it's granted it's been a much smaller role, but there's a guy that's been in the Marvels, and then there's a guy that's been in Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't remember his name. He's a good actor, but he's
the black dude.
yeah. I can't remember his name. He's not.
I'll
he
say
doesn't-
the
he
words you
doesn't-
can't say.
Sam?
No,
Racist.
like he just doesn't play like a big role.
He hasn't played a big role like he.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Star Lord. Yeah,
He's like objectively speaking, you're handsome or something to one of the Squirrel dudes. I can't remember.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be weird. I mean, it's not like it's against the rules or anything. But it also just depends on what the plan and the story is for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Because I mean, like we saw, and I loved seeing it in Deadpool and Wolverine. Having Chris Evans come back and play the Human Torch instead of
That was fun.
Captain America was fun.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Flame on!
Yeah.
What?
Another interesting point, if you guys think about like, oh, they're dishonoring the image of Iron Man. Logan, X-Men, he
No,
died.
that's the things what people don't understand.
And
is
you know,
these-
it's a
this
normal
is-
thing, especially
but
when it comes to comics.
But the only thing that even Javi's saying that can cause an issue is if they cast him as Victor Von Doom. If he is a variant to Doctor Doom, but he's still Tony Stark, that is fine. But if they just be like,
I think I'd
he's
be
a
more
clone,
accepting
and
of
he's
that.
It's
yeah.
more accepting.
It's more acceptable
because they're playing around with multiverses right now.
I'm almost positive that if not the Robert Downey Jr. version, the version of Iron Man that we've known from 616 will have some sort of impact on Secret Wars later on.
Well, also,
I think so too.
I think what was
So
hinted
if
too.
he's playing both, that's going to be weird.
Well-
like if he ends up fighting himself,
And I think there's going to be.
I don't think I would like that.
And I think that there was a leak.
If it's him just fighting himself, this one he's doing this to himself, and then he's
Yeah.
CGI with
There-
other
there's
versions
also-
doing that.
there's also
I don't
two
feel like I
things.
like that as much.
Also, two things because Robert Downey Jr. tweeted after he got in his limo with the showing the Doctor Doom mask. He said same job, different.
No, he said same task, different mask.
Yeah.
right.
So
Getting the money.
it's a how I read that is he's trying to do the same thing as Iron Man was doing, like protecting the world, but
This is
enforcing it a dark way. So this is So in my mind, how I interpret it is this is a variant, a different variant, which makes more sense.
that's a
Assuming,
possibility.
but
I mean, that's
we don't
what-
know. Like
yeah.
I said, it's gonna come.
To what the story tells.
What the
Yeah.
And
it could be good. It could be bad. I don't hate it. I have to see how it plays out.
it will add some drama to. Again, this is based on my plausible theories. Is that my theory, and I think from like possible leaks. I don't know if they're true or not. That Tom Holland is the anchor for 616.
Would make sense.
If he is, and he's the one that and now there's gonna be conflict because when he finds out who Doctor Doom is, and it is Tony Stark, he's gonna have also a very very big like terror. Like, what am I supposed to like? This guy was the one who was like a father figure to me, and now I have to be the one to kill him.
You know what
I
they
think
should
that
have
would be
done?
really interesting. In that sense of storytelling, I think it would be really good. Like, yes, it's this multiversal thing, but it's going to be very personal now because it's because Tom Holland needs to be the one to do it.
Like I said, because we have Robert Downey Jr. playing that character, there is a connection.
There is,
But-
the audience
there is
already
a
are
way to
connected.
write it within the story. There is a way that
Right.
good story, a really great story, actually comes.
But
out.
I think that good story has to happen if
But there is an asterisk on it. Has
yeah,
to be.
it
So
has
that's
to.
what I'm saying,
Be,
like, when it comes to the financial aspect, it's a smart move. Story wise, it's risky until we actually know
agree.
what's going to happen there.
and I hope they don't play it safe because like I think that was our big issue. Is like Deadpool kind of played it safe. We're gonna make the big NCU. It's gonna be a big impact. It wasn't. Nothing happened. I felt like that was really safe. I was wrong. Yeah.
They could have done it really well, but whatever.
Yeah, I think keep it a contained story. That's where you actually are paying more attention to that. That if they're trying to connect different dots in there.
But
Case
with
in
Deadpool,
point,
it
Age of
worked.
Ultron,
But
they were trying to force some information in there, and it felt kind of flat because of that. Remember when Thor went to have his vision about the stones?
they had to get the stone. But the thing is, like
I mean,
they
sure,
wrote themselves
it's
into
important,
a
but
corner because it's like, how are we gonna
They were
connect
trying
this
fit
to
in. They were
Thanos?
trying to add
Yeah.
some elements to make because they need to introduce that now, so people
Because
can
we
be
need to
aware
call
of
upon this later. We need to interject this here.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not time to put it in
Right.
the next movie, so let's put it
They
in.
didn't put it in
Yeah,
Thor. I mean,
that's
we
what
got introduced to the ether, but nothing else. And like him not knowing anything was kind of weird.
Right. But
Until he
like
had
I said,
that vision.
As long as you provide a good, I think the elements are there. It's just being able to connect the dots and make it a good and robust story. This could revive if everything goes well, revive the whole Marvel experience. We don't know if that's going to happen. It feels like it's too early to tell because of Deadpool. I don't consider that to be like, even though it was a great movie, made a lot of money, a point to say, oh, Marvel is going to the right direction.
It's not a like, oh, Marvel's back type of thing. It's like, oh,
Right,
Marvel
right.
can still do fun movies. But this is that definitely wasn't the film that was like, this is tied to the whole phase of Marvel. Like, this is just like, here, there's a bonus for you.
And I think
That's all it
what I
was.
like about Deadpool as well is because all the things that they write have to go through Disney, right? But they also acknowledge that the multiverse is a problem, it's like plot wise, right? So Marvel, they're aware that they screw up, basically.
I mean, yeah.
I think Host's idea might actually come true, and I've been saying this prediction for years with Secret Wars. I think Secret Wars is going to be the end of what we have now,
This
and then
universe.
they'll start over
They'll reboot it.
with something else, and they'll be done with multiverse stories because that's pretty much
It just gets
that's the
messy.
highest ending. That's the
Well, you
biggest
can't do anything
risk.
else after that.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
messy.
And at this point, now that I think about it, like all the people that they're rumored and wanting to bring back, like that's what's that? You said 2026, right? 2 years out from
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
That's like the last time you can bring them back, and I think that'd be fine.
Why not?
Let it be. Let us go in.
Let it be the end. Let it be their final hurrah.
And I do think it will be. I'm hoping. I still think if it's all the stuff that, like, even some of the stuff we've been rumored or just what I've thought is going to happen, I do think Secret Wars has a chance to be better than
as
his game.
good. Oh, it hasn't. But I said Russo brothers are great. I agree that the writing is
especially
probably
now that
good.
I know that the Russo brothers back.
Yeah.
Like, I do feel a lot more comfortable about like the bigger Avengers.
Sure, and
films.
RDJ has a very unique opportunity to. I mean, he's a
Be
phenomenal
the best
actor.
hero and possibly the best villain.
Correct. Like it's unique, so this is. I like finality in things. I think I've been on enough episodes here where people know that, right? Like
Yeah.
E.T. is my favorite movie of all time. It is definitively one movie. Spielberg has said, "I'm taking that to the grave. I will never do a sequel of that. I will not allow."
Although he is in
a
Star Wars.
sequel. Yeah, I mean, just as a
I got
cameo
you, yeah.
appearance. Yeah, it has no story significance, but
So you do like multiple
So-
universe things? I'm just kidding. No, I
Pixar
got
doesn't.
you.
Yeah. So like finality of things is. I said this, I think, to you. Wolverine and Deadpool, I enjoyed the movie. I just wish they would have picked a different actor to play Wolverine because there's something about the legacy of a character who dies off, and that actor just like leaves it alone and leaves it in stone. Like I'm a huge LOTR fan. I love Lord of the Rings. I do not want to see any of those other actors reprising their roles. That's why it actually bothered me with the whole Legolas thing and The Hobbit. Spoilers, whatever. But
Dang it.
stupid. It kind of tainted it for me. Like, I'm like, why? You had a perfect, in my opinion, 3-movie trilogy. Leave the legacy behind. Like, leave it be untouched. There's something incredibly soothing about that, and I think Wolverine should have been left at Logan. There's no way. It didn't taint it, but to me it does. I'm very biased about that. Logan made the ultimate sacrifice. Iron Man made the ultimate sacrifice, and the actors are tied to it. Don't ever show back up in the universe. That's like almost a protect your legacy. To me, I view it like if all of us, what if we find out that Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac have been alive? That ruins their legacy since they've died since 1996. That's how I view it. I know it's stupid, but that's my.
Makes me wonder what the heck have you been doing? Where you been, man?
Have you not seen
Where
those
you been?
those pictures he's been in, like Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic? I can't remember like the stories they were saying.
So,
But that's
I was gonna
where
say something
that's what
really
Tupac is.
Interesting about Robert Downey Jr. He can play a villain. I can tell that for a fact. Going back into my Nolanism.
Play a super villain though.
Well, that's we'll just have to wait and see. But I can definitely tell Oppenheimer, he was the villain of the story.
Oh,
He did an
dang
excellent job on
I
that.
haven't seen it yet, dude.
It's no trailer.
Real antagonist, I would say.
No, but it's.
Gotcha.
I think that's he can even play different characters in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, of course he can.
Right.
He can be a different
can
race
do-
and get away with
Exactly.
it. Okay.
So if the only
It was a different time, man.
That's the only person
You could
that
do
I
it.
feel
That's
like
what he
would
said
be
you
like
could
the
do it still.
safest option.
Yes.
To play that.
That's why it's a cop out.
Correct. Right. I
it's
get
a
it.
cop-out.
But I do feel, especially going with the Secret Wars scenario, I was trying to think, why did we have the whole multiverse in the first place? Well, if you think about it, it's because Marvel, just at that particular time, were able to get the rights back for Fantastic Four, X-Men, all of that. So they wanted to find a connection to explain that, hey, even these old school movies that we made are now connected. So, there's more validation, right?
And Secret Wars is a way to kill off that universe
Exactly.
and never have to come back to it ever again.
Exactly.
But still honor the legacy and all the good times that we had with them before.
Exactly. That's how I was getting at. So I think that's
Which is what I'm hoping for Secret
right.
Wars.
And yes. And I do hope if that's the case, at that particular point, moving forward, it's a new game. Yeah.
If what we think is happening with Secret Wars, I think it's worth it. If it's not, then we'll see.
We'll have
In
to see.
2 years, we'll
Yeah.
have this conversation and be like, you were right.
Short.
You were right, or
Yeah,
Or
think
not.
about it.
I'm okay being
Yeah.
wrong. Like I was wrong with Wolverine and Deadpool, so I predicted.
yeah. And I to go back to that real quick. I think I have the opposite thing. I think one of the only reasons I wanted to watch that movie was because he was reprising his role. But it's one of those things like I loved about there's the same thing I loved about Spider-Man. I've you know this about me and I acknowledge it. I'm a sucker for nostalgia.
Same for me.
Normally,
I'm not a big Deadpool
Willem
fan.
Dafoe's
but
coming
because
back to
of-
play Green Goblin. Shut up and take my money. I haven't even seen the trailer.
It
yet.
works.
Give me my
We have
money.
evidence.
I think there's something sacred of leaving
Yeah.
nostalgia in its place. So like Radical Red to me because it's not canon or whatever. Like it's
not a real game.
I'm okay with it because it's
It's a fan
parody that's a fan made one, like fanfic.
But if it was a real game, you'd be mad?
no, not necessarily. But I guess it's different because there's no human actor legacy story tied to it. It's just
I
like
get
the
it.
feeling of a game.
Not yet. Then we're making a live action
get
Radical
it,
Red.
They're making a live action remake of Radical. Who are you?
I mean, I mean, we haven't played the entire game, so I guess I won't go into it. But
I'm playing
if
Mewtwo.
if you've ever heard of any information about Halo Infinite, that technically is like a soft reboot.
True.
I don't know how you feel about Halo, the game, or like its story and everything, but now I've told you, the Halo Infinite again, it's considered a soft reboot. How does that?
It pisses me off. It pisses me off.
Exactly.
Like, you know why Gears is still good is because they continued the story. They haven't rewritten anything, although now they're going back and doing a prequel, which is cool, but give me the 6th game, end it with the 6th game. I only accept it because it's the son of the original guy that kicked it off and he's still alive. Spoilers, but
Dang it.
it's Gears has not been corrupted with its story. It's still going and it makes sense. Halo, to me, maybe it's because I didn't read the books, did not make sense after starting in 5. I mean, 4 was, I know people loved it because if they read the books, this is a video game, okay? Like, I didn't read the books, I played the video games. So the first trilogy, loved it. Reach, cool concept, didn't like the game. 4, the story got kind of wacky for me. I'm like, this ruins the entire concept of just humanity versus Covenant. That's
I didn't like
it.
that
Ruined
either.
the idea that humanity
4?
finally won. I'm a finalist.
No, I'm more about with Mr. Mister. I
was thinking Chief was going to evolve into something cool. She's like, no, we just activated your blood cells. Now you can do this. It's like, okay, sucks. Halo 5, ass. Just they didn't give us anything.
Well, Halo 5 was like they were trying to go into like, well, the super hardcore fans will love this game, and I was like, you're talking about stuff even I haven't read, and not even Miles has read. Like, and this makes no sense.
I read it. But you guys listen to the
super fan.
No.
You guys listen to
But
the
I still
Stupid
hate it.
podcast, and that was still
No,
shit.
you no, like gameplay wise was phenomenal, but the story they try to add things from like a book from a book from a book
I knew about it.
but it's still, I was like, they try to expand on things that even in the books maybe they talked a little bit about or mentioned like in passing, and then they try to expand upon it in the 5th game. I was like, what are you talking about? Like it, and then the fact that they made,
I understood those references, but it still was great.
then they made the game with only 3 levels with Master Chief.
No, but I do
And tried to
understand-
force you to like Spartan Locke.
You know, understand what House was saying when it
Trash.
comes. You have to definitively close the book on the story. If you keep bringing the story back and forth, it kind of dismisses the original story.
It technically
It
did
does. I
with
mean,
Halo 3.
that's what they did with reprising Halo. Like, I was okay with Halo finishing with 3. I mean, Reach, fine, whatever.
But when
When Halo 4, I was like, what are they going to do with this? Because like they ended it with like, I don't know if we'll ever come back, but they left it open that it could come up. So I was like, if they ever bring it back, I want to try it out because I want to see what happens. Maybe it's like, I was thinking maybe it was going to be like hundreds of years because he's in this cryo sleep. We don't understand how it actually works. So because he's a super soldier, maybe his body can be in cryo sleep for hundreds of years, and when he wakes up, it's going to be a whole new. He won't know anyone who's alive. And I was like, when Halo 4 was brought, I was like, oh, what the heck? And then when I saw that they're going into this closed planet, I was like, are they referencing? I knew from the book that they're referencing one. I'm like, is this hundreds of years later? Like, maybe the Covenant is very different now. Maybe something like this. So it was a letdown that they. What was he gone? Like 10 years? Less?
I believe so.
Something like that. And so it was kind of a letdown that it was like less. I would have liked it that it was hundreds of years later and was a super soldier, but now it's like they have normal people that are at like his strength, and now he's not that, so he has to like, he's used to being, above everyone. Now he's not. I think they could have played with something a little bit different, so it'd be a very different experience. But
That's why we don't get paid to
yeah.
make these decisions.
But again, Halo 6, Halo Infinite, like I would still say we should still play. I think gameplay wise and everything, you will really like.
And the camp, we've only done the first level.
No, we didn't even finish the first level.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we finished the first level.
But that was fun. It was super easy. We didn't play Legendary on that. We didn't play Legendary on that because it was too easy. We were just mowing people down.
The man makes the story doesn't make the man.
Yeah.
To put a bow on that whole thing, that's why RDJ's Iron Man was good. Like the man carried the story, not the story making the man. I think that's where some of these other Marvels they're trying to make the story make the woman. No, the woman needs to make the story.
The one needs to go make the sandwich.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. This is why we can't
And
post. This is why we don't make money.
Already.
And we're getting canceled.
We never got.
Also,
It's okay.
random
Not
things.
affiliated with me.
Yeah, I don't know if just to end on this, just again, they're trying to tie everything together so that they can make some big epic ending, and some of the things that they're doing doesn't make any sense. So, I think Shark King. I'll tell you why. Shark King told me, and I think I don't know if you told me this is confirmed or not, but the
What did I say?
the mid credit scene from the Marvels where you see what's her face
Oh yeah.
wake up. So this is it
Monica
confirmed?
Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau.
No, but is it confirmed that information?
I believe it has been confirmed.
Okay, it's confirmed that end scene it takes place in Earth 10,005
Which is the same universe that Deadpool is.
that Deadpool is in,
Or
which
in
makes
right now.
which is the same universe that Logan is in, which makes no gosh dang sense because mutants have been killed.
Not all of them. Though.
No, not all of them. Think about this. There's also a Deadpool. I'm sorry, a Logan in Deadpool's universe that was not actually brought up. He had to go to another universe in order to bring that Deadpool into that. So
did he
technically,
say?
technically, there should be a living Deadpool. Sorry, a living Logan.
Yes.
In Deadpool's universe.
Yes, but do you remember what happened in Logan?
Yes.
What happened? What did Charles do? Why was Charles heavily medicated? Professor X.
Drugs.
He killed the mutants. How long has it been since there been any new mutants?
It's been a while, but you also have to understand what year was the movie Logan. When does that take place?
2029.
Exactly. When does Deadpool take place?
Taking place right now. But how long has it been since he killed the mutants in Logan?
It's been a while.
decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple
That
of-
makes no sense. So you're telling
But
me
it-
Beast is still alive. Again, that's why like they're trying to...
Deadpool's universe is not Logan's universe.
I thought that's what
They're
they said.
separate.
They're
Nope,
separate.
They're separate because he goes to that universe to go find.
Yeah.
Logan. I
No,
don't think it's the same.
no,
He's a
because it's the same
branch-
universe. Because
he's
he's
a branch universe of the main tree of that universe. The main branch
This is where it gets complicated, right?
I don't know.
I know. And like I said,
They said that his universe is dying because their anchor person died, which is Logan.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
got
the
you.
anchor doesn't need to necessarily be from that particular universe, just wherever the branches come from, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
I mean, it could
I
be a
don't care
possibility
anymore.
because it's full. It hasn't been fully explained. And do you want to think too much about it?
Yeah,
Not really.
They're doing different things with it. Obviously, they've introduced anchor beings, so we have no idea what implications that means. Yes, they have lost that Logan. They've replaced it with a Logan. Does that mean anything?
And you also have to understand that the first when Logan the movie was made, it was on just by 20th Century Fox. So
I-
they have different rules.
I know, but that, again, that's the
that's
whole
why
thing. They
it's-
didn't have to connect it to
But they-
that 20th century, but they did, which
So
is
we
why
don't
it
know.
made it muddy.
Yeah, so we don't know.
That's
Don't
my
take
whole
the
thing.
technicality, you just ruined the movie for you.
No, they ruined it again from saying that this. That
I
this.
don't think too much about
that,
it.
That
I'm
this,
happy. I sleep.
To defend David, it makes sense because if you're going to introduce that as a major plot point, but your major plot point is a major plot hole, then you've just put yourself in a corner that you have to write yourself out of now. Now you have to do an ass pull. But I
Activate
digress.
my trap.
Mirror Force.
And that's the reason why they haven't fully, like even in Deadpool, the new Deadpool movie, they didn't fully explain everything in detail because they are aware that they have so many inconsistencies.
well, that's why they should just kept it as a separate thing.
We've also talked about it. Like even the what's her name, like Laura,
Yeah.
23. We don't know what she is. She still mentions, "Oh yeah, you sacrificed some stuff for me." It's like, so are you the same Laura? Or are you the different Laura?
See?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
We don't know. Which at this point, I mean, to a certain point, they almost want to not go into too much detail because then you don't write your like
Yeah,
the host just
you-
mentioned, you
you
don't
get in a
write yourself
corner.
into a
but
corner.
that's why again they should have just made Deadpool thing a whole. They could have an anchor thing. They could have
it
had their
wasn't
Logan die, which is fine still. Just not the Logan, just not the one from Logan. And if he still goes to Logan's place to get another X-Men because he thinks he's still alive, sure, go ahead, still do that part, but just not make
Whenever
that
happens,
Logan part
just
it.
think about it that a wizard just did it. Magic. They just
See, that's why no, I can't. This is why I want good stories.
well, two different companies at that particular time, they didn't know they were going to connect it.
You
Sure.
don't have to connect it. That's my whole point. You don't have to connect it. You
But they
say
do.
that was a different
That's true.
universe.
You don't need to connect it. He's right. They
Yeah,
don't.
they
need,
did.
But they did, and we still kind of don't know how that works, and we're just kind of.
But hey, the movie made a lot of money, and you were happy with the movie. So,
Mostly.
Not with the story.
Mostly.
well, that's what I said. Don't think too much. It was an enjoyable movie. Yeah, I agree. But all we know from this movie going forward, because it's now part of Marvel Universe,
Kind
that
of.
yeah, right. That we have a Deadpool, we have a Logan, we have a Spider-Man,
We have a whole.
We have a whole.
we have Hulks, we have a Doom. Yeah, we have all the players from all the different stories if they really want to bring them to set, I guess, the pawns to be in Secret Wars.
I hope not, but whatever.
I kind of hope they do. I think
I
that-
hope they
I-
do.
Yeah,
hope
I
they
mean-
do.
I think that's the perfect
that
and last
be
way
done.
to be like, okay, be
don't
done
talk
with
about
them.
the multiverse ever again,
Yeah.
right? But like I said, they had to do that in order to connect all the old school characters into the new universe, the Marvel universe. So
The only other reason I can think of keeping the multiverse around past Secret Wars is for them to be able to do not spin-offs, but like self-contained stories. Like if they wanted to do an X-Men versus Avengers post Secret Wars, they could totally do it.
Yeah, just keep
Bring back some Fox people, bring back some Marvel people. This is in a separate universe.
in
Have them
Earth
figure it out.
2258.
There's a movie. Okay, everyone else go home.
Malone will be 90 by then.
I didn't say it had to be that old, but yeah, he could.
So
Next thing is
He'll still probably be the most ripped dude on set.
yeah.
they're making a lot of money.
The next part is mixing Marvel and DC.
Oh God.
I don't want.
Henry Cavill's Wolverine versus Henry Cavill's Superman.
I don't. That is something I don't want.
I don't want that.
How dare you?
I don't want that.
They've done it before.
They've talked about it. I don't want that.
I'm saying the comic books they've done it before.
Yeah, they've done
but-
it, but that's
It was a
It's
one
comics, so
about
it makes
was
sense
that.
for
They don't-
comics.
they don't
And
have to do it.
to be honest, I don't see at this point why Marvel would do that with.
Oh, yeah, and I don't think they
still
would.
get, like it's weird, like with Sony and Marvel with like Spider-Man, and they argue even though Marvel ends up doing most of the work, somehow Sony ends up making 60% of the money or whatever. That seems weird to me, but hey, whatever. It's 40% of a whole lot is still better than nothing, I guess. But then I don't know how you do that with DC. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna take 80%, you take 20% because
It's gonna make
you
$5
guys-
billion movie,
as
$5
much
billion
as-
dollars.
As much as people have been complaining about Marvel, DC's pretty much been consistently,
Yeah,
Caca.
yeah,
we all agree.
with some exceptions. It's not all terrible, but mostly bad.
Mostly.
We'll see what James Gunn does. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's it for tonight. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Remember, you can watch these episodes on YouTube first. 2 weeks later, you can listen to it on all podcast platforms, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Podomatic, wherever you listen to it. And remember to follow us on our social media accounts on Facebook.
Follow us on all social media accounts on
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Chimino Podcast, capital C, capital N, capital P. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys later. This is David the Smash Fan.
Mister.
Yeah, boy.
Boricua Senpai.
And Shark King.
And this is Chimino Podcast.